Thank you. You know, Jeannie, this is a pretty exciting milestone time for me as well, because it was about 10 years ago at a meeting in California to do a post-mortem on the Proposition 174 that you and I met. And that was about the time that I began to get really involved in choice as a mechanism for reform in education. So it's a really special anniversary, and congratulations, because while there have been a tremendous number of people involved in making this gradual adoption of educational choice part of mainstream thought, no one has led the charge more effectively than Jeannie Allen and the Center for Education Reform, so congratulations. I have two jobs tonight. One of them's rather difficult, and one of them's comes naturally, and it's quite easy. The first is to introduce a person that has been tremendously effective at helping children in this country get a better education and setting the groundwork for the kind of legal activity and the legal framework that is required if the children of our country are ever going to close the educational gaps, they're ever going to see the kind of opportunity that we all want them to see. The second job, as I said, is quite easy, and it's actually making those of you who remember this was a black tie affair feel somewhat superior to those of us who didn't. Our honoree tonight for this particular award is someone who, and I know you'll appreciate this, has worked very closely with Senator Ted Kennedy, but in a very effective way. It's one of those times when my friend Mr. Kennedy has been on absolutely the right side, and that was in reauthorizing the Individuals with Disabilities for Education Act as a way of beginning to focus on the things that were really lacking in the Disabilities Act, and to begin to transfer the responsibility to conforming for that with out to the states. It gets better from there, because he was one of the chief sponsors of the No Child Left Behind Act, which has begun to shift a trend that we all saw developing toward more and more centralized control and more federal domination of the education agenda. And No Child Left Behind, probably the most, at least from my perspective, one of the most important things that No Child Left Behind is doing is beginning to shift responsibility and accountability back to the states. And it is providing a lot of incentive for states to really get behind effective programs. And it is, interestingly enough, it's having that effect. The third thing I thought would be accomplished about a month ago or more, and that is a $40 million program split evenly between the public schools, charter schools, and scholarships to private schools in the District of Columbia. And this program still is alive and breathing, and trust me, it would have been long since dead if we didn't have a fellow out there who, when congratulated on his role in supporting this program, says, well, you know, somebody had to kind of do all the technical stuff. And if you believe that, I have a bridge for you. No one has been more supportive, more effective, and more important in the effort to get the D.C. three-sector approach put into legislation than the recipient of our Uncommon Valor Award, Senator Judd Gregg.